So you're out of the parka this year?
Yes. No more parka, and I don't think I get to consume any more of that fake snow. I think I probably ate about 10 pounds of it over the course of the show. It was a challenge. Yeah, no, it was thankfully it wasn't toxic, so I could breathe it in. You could eat it. It was fine, but it was it was there was less glamorous. It was probably the least glamorous part of the show.
So you're one of the kind of the evilish characters on there, and yet you also have to play nice in other scenes. How do you snap in and out of being evil and trying to fool everybody if you're not so evil?
Well, I think that starts with the writing. They wrote a character for me that wasn't very one-dimensional. He wasn't the evil guy. At the beginning, you think he's there to help and save. He's the army guy. I'm just an army engineer coming to figure out what's happening here. And then you quickly learn that he's got ulterior motives and he's got a hidden agenda. But I think the fact that he came from such a terrible place as a kid, and he had a backstory that had a lot of grim stuff. I think that is what lends itself to a character with a multi-layered situation, and I got to peel back some of those layers and look into what makes Sergio who he is. And he was doing all these things and hurting all these people in the show, taking out all these characters that people liked, like Doreen, and he didn't want to do that. You could see that he didn't want to, as it evolved, he didn't want to do what he was supposed to do, and he changed, and he decided that, okay, at some point you've got to put a stop to it. These kids are being, abducted and experimented on like lab rats, as he says, and it was a lot like his own childhood. So I think playing those kind of characters, stepping in and out of the good or the bad, it's not necessarily shedding one or the other, it's deciding what you wanted to accomplish at that point. Like if he's attacking or confronting Hatake in his office, he's got to go toe to toe. He's got to be the equal bad guy. He's got to be stronger than Hatake at some points. He's got to have the confidence and bullshit his way through some of this stuff, because he doesn't have the intelligence that Hatake does. So I think it was just a matter of using his skills, his tools to get through.
At this point, which master is he serving? That still seems kind of unclear.
Does it? Yeah.
That's all you're going to say about that.
I'm sorry, it's unclear. No, I agree. I mean, that's just it, right? Well, I don't have much more information for season 2, other than I read the first script on the plane, and it's phenomenal, and it's going to go deeper and darker. And my character is going to have, as far as who he works for. I mean, he worked for Ilaria from the get-go. Whether that's going to remain, or whether he's going to go rogue, or whether he's going to align himself with the good guys of the show for season 2, remains to be seen. Can't tell you anymore, and I'm sure you're getting all these same answers like, oh, wait and see, or watch the show. But to be honest, none of us actors have any more information than the first script, so we can't tell you.
You can tell us all about the first script.
I could.
You could.
Get
Go for
so
it.
much trouble. And then Syfy, they could easily write me out. I don't want to do that. I'm a mistake.
So maybe talk about your favorite moment or scene from season 1.
Favorite scene for dealing with one of my favorite characters would have obviously been the ending of Doreen's life. Very, very difficult. Very difficult as an actor, because I really liked Catherine Deneuve, and we taught each other a lot for this first season, for the first few episodes, and we went through a lot and experienced a lot of things as newer actors to this industry, having our own series. We got to share a lot of experiences together, so it was really sad, and there was I didn't need to prepare any of Balleseros' emotion for that. Like, that was literally very difficult for me and for him. And Catherine, during the scenes, some people were asking her, was it really fun? Was there lots of jokes? She says, no, I gave him the respect to prepare what he wanted to prepare, and we just did our thing, and it just came out like that. And it was because we actually like each other as people and actors, and I was just sad to see her go. And also, I was just worried about the backlash from the fans later, so I was trembling in my boots. What are they going to say? They're going to freak out on Twitter. Which they did. They hated me. So that was definitely one of my favorite scenes with another character on the show. For myself, for my growth as an actor on the show was definitely seeing episode 13 when they come in the room and I've got the gun trained on Billy and everybody, and I shoot the girl and she's yelling stuff at me. And when they discovered the mother all aged in the box, I think that confronting the whole group at the base that had led me through this battle throughout 13 episodes, getting beat up and stabbed and chained and handcuffed repeatedly. I think that was like my payback to these scientists. Like, screw you guys, I got this now. Now you guys are going to listen to me for a little bit. So I think that was fun for me as well.
You're starting to get a love interest. Is that going to be what happens in the Arctic stays there, or is that going to continue?
Is it like Vegas? What happens in the Arctic
It's the
stays in the
Canadian
Arctic?
Vegas.
Well, the fact that the base got blown up, I think what happens in the Arctic stays in the Arctic for this season. I don't know what they have in store for my character as far as that goes. I got some nuggets of information from Steve Maeda, our showrunner, last night at this party. I don't know if it was alcohol-induced, chit chat, but I have some ideas. I can't say too much more, but it's going to be fun. My character is going to go lighter or darker. Will he? Yeah.
That's so helpful.
I know, right? I'm trying to be as helpful as I can without getting fired.
Has the change of scenery, does it feel like it's kind of, it's not a reboot, but it's re-energizing the series where you're going in and you're going to have a totally new environment for the second season than you had with this base?
Definitely. I mean, you have to understand for the show, or maybe you got from the show from season 1, is that the base and the location is also a character. I mean, that base with all the different levels and all the different hidden rooms and all the things that went on in that place, it was his own entity. And I think season 2 is going to be the same thing. It's going to be a different location, but it's going to have its own environment that's going to lend itself to creating more creepiness and more horror and more thrilling. It's part of it. I'm excited to just explore something else, as far as location. And yes, not wearing in Montreal when it's 80, 90 degrees in a sound studio with these lights, and I have to wear 3 layers of parka, a toque, and goggles, and wipe off sweat between takes because I'm supposed to be cold and frozen. I think that's going to be nice. And we're going to do a lot more exterior shots for this because of the locations, as opposed to a lot of the green screen that we had to do for season 1.
I can ask more, guys.
Yeah, go for it.
Was there a character in season 1 that you didn't get to work with as much that you'd like to see in season 2?
Yeah, that fellow right there, Neil here. He spent most of his time vibrating on a gurney or drinking black goo, and I wasn't there when he was doing all that. And so I didn't really get to even see a lot of the filming because when you're off doing other things or when they're filming those scenes, they don't bring in all the actors, so we're at home or doing whatever, preparing for our next days. So I didn't get to do very much with Neil. We didn't even have. I don't think we even had a conversation in season 1. No, we didn't have a conversation because he was barely lucid for most of the most of the scenes, most of the season. Definitely Neil. I would like to work with this lady over here, Kira Zagorski, a bit more. We had some dismissive conversations. I think when I had the gun on Billy and she asked me to put the gun down, I just kind of laughed at her. I think that was the extent of my conversation. I was like, no, I think I'll hang on to this gun. Like that was the extent of my conversations with her as the bad guy, So I'd like to work with her as well. But there's definitely we all had our little storylines that spread us out. Like she spent a lot of time with Hatake and doing the ghost busting and the hunting and the hallucination stuff that she did. My character spent a lot of time with Anana or with Constance Sutton, and so I think getting to work with some of the core crew again will be fun.
Is that one of the nice things about the show, because the cast is so big and there are these kind of little pockets that you don't necessarily have to be different?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, you're still working all the time, but you're not. I mean, like Billy and Kira, number 1 and number 2, in the sense, had a lot more scenes than if I had an episode off. I wasn't even in episode 11, but that wasn't the case for the rest of Billy and for Kira. It is nice to just be able to sometimes enjoy life. I mean, we're working hard. We're doing 14-hour days, and you guys know what it's like to be on these sets. And it's not glamorous. A lot of work and a lot of memorization and a lot of figuring things out. So it is nice to go get a couple of days off and come back refreshed.
If you could write what was going to happen to your character next season, what direction would you want to see him go?
I liked seeing him go good a little bit throughout the season 1. I think he's got a lot more story to tell about his pain though, and a lot more to tell about what he's been through, and I want to see that, I think, more. If I could be writing anything, would be to show what Sergio went through in life, what led him to be a guy that would help create a virus that's going to destroy possibly half the population. That to me is interesting. Is what motivated him to get to this point in life.
Do you want to be signed up for immortality?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, that's a major question to ask yourself. Do I want to live forever?
If you get diamond skin?
Yeah, right. Like James Bond, was it that guy?
Twilight.
Yeah. No, I don't want to go there. I'd rather go with the James Bond reference. But no offense to the, what are they called? What are the Twilight? Twihards.
Twihards.
Yes, and like Team Jacob or Team that kind of thing. Like no, like it's a great thing for that group. But I don't want to be a diamond vampire.
So maybe what was the most fun aspect of your character to play the first season?
I kind of like. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of like that he is like he's a cocky bastard. Like he at first he's playing this pushover, like, you know, everyone's making fun of him. She's like, oh, what are you, a glorified plumber? To the military man, you know. And I have to wear camouflage, and I have to just pretend to be this guy looking for a bunch of crap in the air vents, and I don't really care. Like when I got to switch out of that and start dishing out some bad guy stuff, it was a lot of fun, and he was just somebody that everybody wants to play. Like, you play G.I. Joes as a guy, you know, like you run around and as a kid you're playing with Transformers and you want to play the badass sometimes, and you want to have the gun and you want to run around and yell at people and get the girl. It's just like that was all fun to me. And then, you know, when they informed me that I had to take my shirt off, episode 6, I was like, no pizza for the next month and a half. In the gym, please. And so now I'm preparing more for season 2. In case they make me do that, I've you know, been eating a bit better and working a bit harder in the gym to make sure that I can not have to suffer through the lunch line for every single day for a month and a half. Everyone's getting all this great food and piling on, and I'm like, lettuce, the dessert table.
Yeah,
more lettuce. Right?
Then you want the parka.
Yes, exactly. You can
Great,
hide it all.
thank you guys.
Thank you so much.